Hi everyone, welcome to this relaxing and quick 20-minute yoga flow. We're going to begin in a seated position with our legs crossed if that's comfortable for you. You can place your hand on your chest and your tummy to practice and get in touch with your breath if you would prefer to do that, if that feels good for you. Now we're going to give our neck a little stretch here. If it feels good, you can place your hand on the one side of your head just for very gentle pressure. We don't want to pull here. And then alternate, switch sides. Take some deep breaths here. Next, we're going to roll our shoulders back, up towards our ears, and then back towards our shoulder blades, and then forward. Just a few times, just loosen up those shoulders, loosen up that neck. Next, we're going to do a little side stretch here, so place your right hand out and reach over with your left. Opposite side, you can tent your fingers or place your palm on the ground and reach over with your opposite hand. Nice little side stretch here. And reach up nice and tall. We're going to do a little spinal twist. Place your left hand on your knee, look back or as far back as you feels comfortable for you. And then switch sides. Gaze backwards and enjoy this little spinal stretch. Here's your hands nice and tall, and then we're going to transition to our hands and knees, and we're going to do a few cat-cows here. We're going to inhale with our cow looking up or out, and then exhale as we arch our back to our cat pose. Do a few more, and if you like, you can kind of play around here, kind of do a little side stretch, whatever feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, join me in a downward facing dog. Hips up, arms out nice and straight. Keep your knees as bent as you need here. If you'd like, you can pedal the feet, really stretch out those calves and those hamstrings. This is a great warm up and stretch for the back of our legs, which often get really, really tight. Then we're going to raise our left foot and bring it forward in between our hands. Then come up into a high crescent lunge. You can keep your hands up, or if that's too much strain on your shoulders, bring your hands down into prayer, in the middle of your chest. Then come back down, come to a plank pose. If you'd like, you can do a chaturanga here. And then you're going to come up into a little baby cobra. Push back up into your push-up and back into downward dog. Then we're going to raise our opposite foot, bring it forward, place it in between our hands, and again, come up to our crescent lunge. Our knee is bent, back leg is straight. Take some deep breaths here. Again, you can bring your hands to prayer if that's more comfortable. Come back down. Drop down onto your tummy or down into an upward facing dog. And then roll back over your toes to downward facing dog. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer now. We've got the blood pumping. And then come back to a plank position. Drop all the way down and join me in Sphinx pose. Place your forearms out in front of you. Keep the neck tall. And then look to your right. Look to your left. And then we're going to push back up into another downward facing dog. Lots of down dogs today, but it really is such a great pose. Next, we're going to raise our left leg up, bring it forward again, place it in between our hands. This time we're going to come up into Warrior One. Then we'll transition to Warrior Two. Notice how my back foot, the angle changes. Our arms go out and straight. Reverse that warrior. Back to Warrior Two. Transition back to Warrior One. And bring your hands back down to the mat, back to our plank, and back down into a quick little chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's get our other side now. So lift that right leg up, bring it forward. Make sure we've got the right position with our back foot and front foot. Hands come up, nice and strong. Transition, rotate that back foot and our arms to Warrior Two. Reverse warrior, bring the right arm up straight. You can do a little bit of the back bend here if that feels good. And then come forward, rest that elbow on that thigh. Left arm goes up and out. Nice little side stretch here. Back to Warrior Two. Back to Warrior One. And hands back down on our mat. Hands bring our knees to the mat and enjoy a quick little rest here in Child's Pose. You've earned it. Few breaths here, and then join me back in a plank pose and downward facing dog. I promise there aren't too many downward facing dogs left. Alright, step up into a forward fold. Let your neck fall and be heavy. You can grab your elbows here with either arms for a little ragdoll. You can keep your knees as bent as they need to be. Come halfway up. And exhale back down. You can also use a block here if that helps, or a thick book, something that brings the ground basically closer to you can always be helpful. Then rise up, tall mountain. I apologize that my head is cut off here. Then join me in the middle of your mat. We're going to do a quick little balance exercise here. We're going to practice tree pose, which is one of my favorite yoga poses. You can start out in a little kickstand position. You can play around with bringing your foot to your calf or the inner part of your thigh. Don't put any pressure on that knee though. We don't want to put that foot on that knee joint. And then reach your arms up nice and tall. You can look up, you can look out, you can bring your hands to prayer, really whatever works for you. And don't feel bad if you fall out of this. It takes practice, it takes concentration. Some days will be better than others, and that's okay. And then again, on our other side, you can start in a kickstand. Try balancing with your foot on your calf. If that feels good, try bringing that foot up into our inner thigh area. Again, hands can be at prayer, or you can grow your branches, reach up nice and tall. You can look up, you can look out. You can even try closing your eyes for an extra hard challenge. Shake that out. Join me at the front of your mat. Reach up nice and tall. And fold forward. Again, using a yoga block if needed, if that feels good. Halfway up. And exhale, fold down. Step back into a plank position. Drop down toward little chaturanga, upward facing dog. Look up, expand your chest, and roll over those toes to our downward facing dog. Reach that left leg up and drop it into a pigeon pose. You can stay upright here. Again, you can use a block, you can use a blanket under that hip if it feels more comfortable, or you can put a blanket or a block underneath your arms to raise the ground a little bit higher. Again, whatever is comfortable, whatever feels good, go with that. Take a few breaths here, and then we're going to repeat this on our other side. You might feel that one side feels better than the other. That's pretty normal. Just keep trying, keep stretching, keep being patient with yourself, and hopefully over time you'll notice improvements on the less flexible or the more tight side. To get out of pigeon, I like to just swing that leg around. Be very careful, be gentle. And we're going to work our core a little bit here with a boat pose. So we're going to kind of hinge on our sit bones here. You can play around with just raising your feet up and off the ground. You can alternate your feet here. And when you're ready, lift both feet off the ground, straighten those arms, engage that core. You can try straightening your legs if you need to have your knees more bent, that's totally fine. Then come out of that, bring your knees to your chest, straighten that back. We're going to do this 3 times. Alright, this is one of my most favorite back stretches. We're just going to kind of thread those arms through our legs, grab a hold of those ankles or our calves, and then just push our back out. You'll feel a nice stretch and expansion in your back, your low back. And then gently roll onto your back. Maybe you can do a few little hip circles here, give your lower back a little massage. Again, draw attention to your breath. Make sure you're breathing. Bring your right knee in and extend your left leg. And if it feels good to you today, rotate that knee to the opposite side. Extend your right arm out. Take your gaze to your right. This is a great spinal stretch. Few breaths here. And then switch sides, bring that left knee in, give it a little hug, and carefully bring that knee over to the opposite side. Extend your left arm out and take your gaze to your left. Finally, we're ready for Shavasana, or our final resting pose, or corpse pose, whatever you like to call it. You can keep your arms and legs out, or if that puts too much pressure on your lower back, feel free to bend your knees here. And just enjoy this relaxing posture. Take some deep breaths. Try not to think about your to-do list or what you need to do next. Just enjoy this time to rest and be at peace. When you're ready, turn onto your right side and then gently bring yourself back to a seated position on your mat. Thank you for taking the time to do this little yoga flow with me today. You guys are awesome. And namaste, the light in me sees and honors the light in you.